about organizing files. Okay, so let's get started with the first topic, which is pattern matching with regular expressions. Okay, so let's understand each term one by one. Pattern matching with expressions. Okay, so let's complete the module. So here we are starting from finding the pattern of text without regular expressions. Suppose that you are an American and you have your phone number as 3 digits followed by a hyphen, then 3 digits followed by a hyphen and 4 digits. Okay, so this is the way the Americans have their phone number. So searching the phone number from a document, like you have a document here, inside that text is written and in between one phone number is written. Okay, this phone number you have to search among this text. How can you search without using regular expressions? If you do not use regular expressions, the basic way to search the number is to find out if the phone number if it is a phone number or not. Check whether the text has 12 characters long. Okay, means if the text is 12 characters, first criteria for a text being phone number. Okay, next we will check at the 4th and the 8th location there is hyphen or not, and after that we will be checking any symbol if it is other than 0 to 9. Okay, means other than hyphen, all the other symbols should be in between 0 to 9, right. So if it satisfies each of these criteria, it can be told that it is a phone number, but using this method it would take a lot of time, right. How can it be optimized? An optimized solution would be to use regular expressions. Let us understand what is regular expressions. The same phrase could be searched as /d 3 times followed by a hyphen, then /d 3 times followed by a hyphen and /d 4 times. What does /d indicate? /d is a digit. So wherever you can see /d here, that can be replaced with a digit. Okay, any digit from 0 to 9. Okay, so it could be further shortened as /d in curly braces you can write 3 followed by a hyphen, then /d followed by in curly braces you can write 3, then hyphen /d and 4. Okay, so this is known as regular expression, and whichever text satisfies the criteria of this regular expression, that can be told as a phone number, right. How can we use that in Python? In Python we will be creating a variable here which is named as phone num regular expressions. regex means regular expression. Okay, for that we need to import a module re regular expression and dot compiler. This is the function which we are calling, and here we will have r, observe this carefully, then a single opening quotes and here also closing quote. Okay, and here we have 3 /d's followed by a hyphen, /d's hyphen and 4 /d's. Now the compiler will save this format in phone number regular expression. Now phone number regular expression dot search, the text will be sent here and each of this text will be compared with this regular expression. Whichever satisfies this whole regular expression, that will be returned in MO. Okay, so whenever I get if I get the answer from this text, that will be stored in MO and I can print like MO dot group. Okay, group will print the whole phone number. Now let us talk about more pattern matching regular expressions. Okay, the first one is grouping with parenthesis. Okay, so suppose that this is the same thing as the previous one. We have the phone number here. The first 3 /d can be grouped as group 1. This can be represented as group 2. Okay, to represent it as a group, you can add braces here or parenthesis here. After you add it, in the first group, this will be in the second group based on where you have added parenthesis. Okay, so if you output like mo dot group 1, 415 will be printed, the group 1. Then if I output like group 2, the next group will be printed here. If I output just group, the whole thing will be printed like 415, 555 and 4242. Okay, now why is group necessary? In American phone number system, the first 3 digits are nothing but the area code, and this is the main phone number. If I want to separate the area codes for each phone number, I can create a group separate for this one. So therefore when I return the group here, the area code will be returned here and main number will be returned here. If I output print area code, 415 will be printed, and print a main number, the main number will be printed 555 and 4242. Okay. So, this is the main use of forming a groups with parenthesis. Let us discuss about the second one, which is matching multiple groups with pipe. Okay. So, sometimes we need to search more than one text in the main file. So, suppose that here we have to search either Batman or Tina Fey. Okay. So, what I will do is I will create a variable here, inside that I will write re.compile, and which is the thing which I want to search, either this one or this one, that will be separated by a parallel line here, which is known as pipe. Okay. So, it will either select this one or this one from the main text. If I pass on the text Batman and Tina Fey, so what is the first thing it will encounter, that will be returned, means Batman is coming first. So, Batman will be stored in MO1. If I output, I will get as Batman here. Okay. In the same way, if I output here, if I write Tina Fey first and then Batman, so in MO2 dot groups, what will be stored is the first thing, which is Tina Fey. Okay, that will be output here. This is the use of matching multiple groups with pipe, and to find strings like Batman, Batmobile, and Batcopter. Here you can observe one thing: the first three letters are same, BAT. Only the remaining letters are changed here. So, what I can do is I can keep bat here, and I can form a group here where man or mobile or copter. So, wherever this criteria matches in the main, that will be returned. See, I have passed Batmobile lost a wheel. So, Batmobile means matches this criteria. So, it will be returned in mo.group. Okay. And means 0 or 1. Suppose that I have passed the criteria that bat WO could be appearing or not appearing. Okay, means 0 time or 1 time. That is the main use of question mark. So, either WO could come or could not come. Okay. So, if it does not come, what will be the case? BATMAN, Batman. Okay. So, if I pass this string, this will be searched with this criteria, and it will be seeing, is BAT present? Yes, yes, it is present. Is WO present? Means it could be present or not present, both are accepted. Okay. So, here it is not present, so it is not an issue, and here we have MAN. So, MAN will be MAN is present here, that will be considered. Okay. So, here I will get the output Batman. Okay. And if I have Batwoman, so WO is present one time, so that will be considered, and it will be outputting Batwoman here. Okay. So, the next one is matching 0 or more with a star. Okay. Star means 0 or more. In the previous one, question mark means meant 0 or 1. Star means 0 or 1 or 2 up to n. Okay. So, let us see an example. Here I have written bat WO repeated n times or man. Okay. If Batman is there, star can be including 0 also. So, 0 number of times WO is present, that will be accepted. So, in this case 0 times WO is there, and I have bat and man. Okay. So, this will be accepted here. And if I have like actually I had to write here Batwoman. Okay. Assume that WO is there. Okay. So, this is repeated one time, that is also accepted, that will be output here. If it is repeated 3 or 4 times, that will also be accepted. Okay. And it will be returned here. Okay. The next one is matching one or more with a plus. In the previous two cases we have seen it is 0 or more or 0 or 1. So, if you do not want 0, means at least 1 should be there. So, I can use 1 or more. Okay. Here we will be using the sign plus. Okay. Plus means at least one time it should be repeated in the text which I am passing. Okay. So, I have written here bat, WO should be repeated at least once or more than once, and here man. Okay. So, this will be outputting Batwoman since WO is repeated once here, and if I pass in the word bat followed by 3 times WO and man, that will be printed here, because at least one should be there and it is present here. Okay. But if I pass Batman, here it is not present at least one time. Okay. So, what will happen is it will not return anything. So, if I check MO3 is equal to none, means it has not returned anything as true. Okay. So, this will not work. Okay. It needs at least one time WO should be there, one or more time. Okay. And the next one is matching specific repetitions with braces. Suppose that I have to find out a string here HA, HA and HA 3 times. Okay. So, I can use HA here followed by 3. If I want to find out those strings which have HA repeated 3 times, 4 times and 5 times, I can write here 3 to 5. And if I want like from 0 to 5, I can write this one, and if I want from 3 to up to n number of times, I can write 3 comma and then leave there a space. Okay. So, that will return all those strings present in the main file which has at least 3 times HA and more than 3 times. Okay. Now, let us discuss about greedy and non-greedy matching. What does greedy matching mean? Let us consider an example. Here I have written greedy HA regular expression is equal to re.compile, and here I have mentioned HA repeated at least 3 times or maximum of 5 times. So, if it is a greedy algorithm, what it will do is it will return the maximum possibility. That means 5 times when it is repeated, it will return 5 times. Okay. And if I use non-greedy, what that will return is the minimum number, means at least 3 times should be there, right. So, at least 3 will be returned. Okay. That is the basic difference between greedy and non-greedy. How can we differentiate that? By default, it is greedy in Python. If I want a non-greedy version, what we can do is add a question mark here. That will indicate we have to return the minimum possibility. Okay. The next one is find all method. Find all means if I pass in a criteria here of a phone number, and will return all those text matching strings. Okay. If I do not use find all, I use the normal finding method. In that, only one of the string which is present first, that will be returned, but in find all those matching strings will be returned. Okay. And suppose that we want to create our own character class. Suppose what I mean is, till now we have seen a phone number here, right, which is followed by 3 digits and hyphen and 3 digits then 4 digits. Okay. Suppose that instead of this, what I want is the first 2 digits should be letter, then a number, here also it should be letter, number, and here it should be a special character, then 2 numbers and 1 letter. If I want this combination, it is a custom combination, right. So, if I want this, I can create my own character class. For that, we need to know few like what is /d. /d means any numeric character from 0 to 9. Next, we have /D. Capital D will return any character which is not 0 to 9. Okay, means the reverse of it. The same thing goes for W also. W will return any word, and capital W will return anything other than a word. Okay. And /s means for spaces and tabs. /S will return those characters which are not spaces and tabs. Okay. Here, if I write here /d followed by a plus, that means at least one or more numbers should be there, followed by a space, and then at least one or more words should be there. Okay. And if I pass the strings here 12 drummers, 11 pipes, 9 servants and 4 birds, here what will be the correct output? Is it matching with the criteria here? First let us consider this one, 12 drummers. The first 2 are digits, that is satisfying /d plus, that means one or more numbers. Then we have a space here, space is considered, yes, and here we have a word. Is it present according to this criteria, one or more? Yes. The same thing goes for others also. So, we will return all these valid strings. Okay. And making your own character class, suppose that I have to search the vowels from a string. The character class can be created as follows, opening square braces and closing square braces. In between that, I will write the small letters and then the capital letters. Okay. So, it will return all those letters which are matching both the lower and the upper case. Okay. For example, if I pass here in the compile this criteria, and this is the text which I want to find out the vowels from. So, all those letters which are matching with this criteria means lowercase letter and the uppercase letter vowels, that will be returned here. Okay. And negative character class means it should not be there, means except vowels all the other letters should be returned. So, I will be using this sign here for the negation class. Okay. And the caret and the dollar sign. Suppose that I want to search from a text if it is starting from hello or not. I will be using this character here, and by using that I will be passing a string. If it starts from the particular word here, it will return as true, else it will return as none. For example, if I pass hello world, is hello world starting from this string here? Yes, it is the same string. So, I will be returning it is a match. Else if I pass he said hello, it is not starting with hello. Okay. So, it will return as none. Okay. And what is dollar sign? Dollar sign means it is ending with that particular word or not. If I pass here the criteria /d and dollar sign, that means the ending means whatever the ending text is there, it should end with a digit. If it is true, it will return that it will return as a match, else it will return. So, for example, if I pass here your number is 42, 42 it will be returning as match, else here letter, the last letter is 0, I mean O. So, O is not a number, it will return as none. Okay. Basically the usage of caret sign and the dollar sign for comparing the starting word and the ending word. Okay. Suppose a few words here: cat, hat, sat, bat and mat. Now, from these words what you can find is it is ending with AT, and dot is the wildcard character, and dot represents that anything can be included before that. Okay. Like C or H or 2 or more letters. Okay. And star means anything can be included and how many times it can be included. For example, if I want to accept first name and the last name letters, but I do not know how many letters are there, then we will be using star. Star means 0 or more letters, and dot means it can accept anything like any symbol or any letter. Okay. So, I will be taking the name by using this syntax here, and by using the group function I will be outputting the first and the last name. Okay. And this basically means by default it is a greedy method in the dot star, and if I want to make it non greedy, we will be adding a question mark. Let us discuss this by an example. Here I have the string matching algorithm as angular braces opening, angular braces closing, and in between that dot star any number of characters followed by a question mark. Question mark means minimum string it will be returning. So, what is the minimum string satisfying this criteria? This is the string which is satisfying this criteria. It has a opening angular braces and closing angular. Okay. And what default it is a greedy method, what it will return? The maximum possibility. If we search here, the maximum possibility is this one, opening and the closing braces and in between many characters, right. So, that is the difference between the greedy and non greedy method. Okay. And case insensitive matching, if you want to match the letters, but not look at its case, we can use re.I. And if you want to substitute strings with the sub method, that means see here it is written here like agent and followed by one or more words. So, if I write here like sub to substitute the word censored, and I pass this text here, agent Alice gave the secret document to agent Bob. Agent is matched in two cases, this one and this one. What it should be replaced with? Agent and the next word to it, that should be replaced with censored. So, what will be the output is censored, instead of this it is returning censored, gave the secret document to censored, because it is agent Bob, it is matching with the criteria, and the replacing word is censored. Okay. So, this is the final output. The next one is making simple format of complex regular expression. So, if you have multiple criteria, like as before we discussed here, just it is one criteria. If you have multiple criteria, okay, how can we arrange them in a row, means more readable format. Okay, that is done by using re dot verbose. Okay, it will arrange in a separate line. Okay, means each criteria. And triple quote is used for multi-line comment. And if you want to combine the three cases, re dot ignore case, re dot all, and re dot verbose, we can use pipeline. Okay, for example, if I write like this, it will be a valid string. Okay, it will take care of each of these cases. Okay, let us move on to the second topic, which is reading and writing files. Files are stored in a hierarchical directories, and the top one is the root directory. So, this is the format in which the files are stored. This is the root directory, this is the subroot, and these are the other files in the directory, okay, like library and the user. So, this is the way the files are stored, and we can use the backslash or the forward slash for denoting the path. Means what is the path? This one, that means root slash binary slash sorry, it is bin, root slash bin slash library slash user. So, slash is not used in the same way in Mac and Windows. In Windows it is backslash, and in Mac it is forward slash. So, how can we differentiate? We can differentiate using the path function from the pathlib module. So, pathlib module will see which operating system it is getting called from. Based on that, the particular format for that operating system will be returned. If I am calling from Windows, I will get an address with a backslash. If I am using Mac, I will get an address with forward slashes. Okay. And CWD is used for printing the current working directory, means where are you present right now, and we can use directory. And the home directory is nothing but it is given to all the users to store their personal files. That can be checked using path dot home. And what is the difference between absolute and relative paths? In relative paths, you are given information about which is your parent directory. Okay, that is all. And absolute path will give you the means from the starting, means from the C drive to your own particular file. What is the all the directories in between that? That all information will be provided to you. That is known as absolute path, and relative means what is the path relative to your parent. Okay. And to create new folders using OS make directory function, you can use make directory to create a new directory, and you can use the other format also using pathlib. Okay. And to handle the relative and the absolute paths, we can use is absolute and is relative to check if the path is absolute or relative. And CWD could be used to change from the absolute to relative and relative path to absolute. Okay. Path returns the string of the path. So, let us see what are the path means what are the what is the path composed of. It is composed of anchor, parent, and name. So, this is the main directory C. Inside that, this is the parent directories, and this is the file which you are working on. It has the name, and this is the stem, and this is the suffix. Suffix can include like .txt, .mp4, .mp3, .pdf, .docs. Okay, those are the suffixes, and stem is the name of the file. Okay, and if we see from the relative path, what will be the thing is home and AI and spam.txt. Okay, this is the parent, this is the anchor, and this is the name. Okay, and this is the directory name, and this is the base name, and the path could be split or modified or added a new base name. Okay, since we have differentiated the path into different modules, each of those modules is modifiable. Okay, so if you want to change this directory, you can change this name here. So, it will move the files which are present after it to the new directory. Okay, and if you want to find the file size and the folder contents, these two functions symbol here. Instead of question mark, it could be 1, 2, 3, all those matching strings will be returned to the function. Okay. To check the path validity means if the path exists or not, we can use p dot exist, p dot is file, p dot is directory. And to read and write to a file, it's pretty simple. All we have to do is we have to open the file and write the text to it, and then if you want to read, you can use p dot read text. Then you have to before closing the program, you have to close the file. Okay. And this is the main three functions: open the file, read or write, and then close the file. Okay. Now there are many formats in which you can open the file and close the file. The one of the format is like using open function, open path name, or you can just write the absolute path name or the relative path name. Okay. Reading the contents we have discussed, and writing to a file also we have discussed. Saving the variables in the shelf module. See, what do we usually save in the variables? Any data like a number or a character or any file values. And how can we save those set of values in a variable, right? That we are discussing now. To achieve that, we are using shelf here. In shelf module, we have a function which is used to save the list of data. Like suppose that cat is a list which has Zophie and Puka and Simon. So all these lists are stored in the cats. Now if I have to store these values in a variable, I can use shelf file, which will be stored in which will be named as cats, that will have this list here. Okay. Now whenever I want this list to be output, I can call this particular syntax here by using which I can output the list. Okay. It is just same as the dictionary. It has keys and the values. Keys are nothing but what is the name in which I stored the file, and the values are the what the values the list has, means what are the elements inside the list. Okay. And moving on to saving variables with the p format function. Pprint is just for the more organized way of storing the variables. So if I use pprint, the variables here will be stored in this way. Okay. So it's more readable and organized way. Okay. And also using pprint.p formats, you can make changes in the file very easily. Okay. So these are some of the ways, like whichever index you want to change, mention that, and what is the change you want to make, mention that, and save that change in the new file. Okay. And also we can retrieve the data just as a 2D array. So if I have like in my list, I have the name here of the cats, and what is means these are the cats here and their name, and suppose that their weight. Okay. So if I want to access the what is the name of the first cat, what I will do is, this is the 0th row and this is the 0th column. So I will be accessing cats of 0 and name. So I will get the which is the cat's name stored in the first row, that will be output as Zophie. Okay. And coming to organizing files, the shell utilities module is used. To copy the file, we can use .copy. To rename or move the file, you can use .move, and to delete the files, unlink, rmdir and rmtree. These functions are very useful to perform these operations. Suppose that we are not sure if the file again in the future, what we can do is we can store that file in trash, and then we can even retrieve it, right. So it's a more safer option, and that can be achieved using a module called send to trash. Okay. And OS walk function can help us to traverse through all the files and the folders. Suppose that there are many files and they have the subfolders and the subdirectories. It will take a lot of time to travel to each file and make changes. Okay. And there is a high possibility that some files might have been unvisited, okay, because of human error. So what we can do is we can form a for loop here, which will access each directory. Inside that, it will go to each subdirectory, okay, and inside each subdirectory it will have subfolders, and then inside each subfolder it will have a folder. So based by using this for loop here, we will be ensuring that we have traveled to each file and made the changes. Okay. So this is done by using the module OS, and the function name is os.walk. So whenever you travel to all the files, the output will be like the current folder is this one, and the subfolder is this one. This is the second subfolder, and then after inside the subfolders we have the files inside this, and what is the file value here, what changes you want to make, everything will be displayed. Okay. Coming to zip file module, zip file means compressing the file size to a smaller size. Okay. So, to create a zip file, write example zip is equal to zip file dot zip file and pass the name here. So, that will shrink the file size. Okay. And to extract the file, you can use the function extract all. So, this will extract all the files, I mean all the information from the particular zipped file. Okay. And if you want to generate and add a new zip file, we can use this function here, and by using that we can write the new values to the zip file. And debugging is nothing but we are just checking where the error has happened and trying to fix that error. Okay. Some of the keywords are like step in, step out, breakpoint. Like suppose that this is the code. Step in means from where you are starting debugging, step out means where you are ending, breakpoint means which point you are trying to like iteratively search for the error. Okay. And raising exceptions, if right okay. So, this is basically it about the module 3. Let us go through the previous year questions. Write a program to accept n numbers from the user, find the sum of all even numbers and product of all odd numbers in the entered list. See, firstly I have discussed the syntax to write a list. You can use that to accept the numbers from the user, and by using the modulus operator you can check if it is even or odd. Okay. And you can store the sum in the sum variable for the even numbers and the product in the product variable of the odd numbers. Okay. So, let us move on to the next one, which is dictionary, and you know the function of dictionary, like they have the key and the values, you can store that separately. And what we have to find out is accept the USN and the marks obtained, find the maximum and minimum of the student USN who have scored in the range 100 to 85, 85 to 75, 75 to 60 and below 60. Okay. So, each time the condition will be set and we will be traversing through the dictionary and finding out which is the maximum and the minimum in this range. Okay. Like that you will be outputting 4 times, or else you can store those values in a list and then return that list also. Okay. And moving on to the next one, which is compare and contrast tuples with list. Tuples are immutable, lists are mutable, and sum of 2 tuples is possible or not, you have to say. Slicing operators, compression of 2 tuples, assignment to variables. So, based on your understanding of tuples and list, you can answer these questions like sum of 2 tuples is possible or not. Tuples are not mutable, but is it possible or not to add the sum? Okay. That you have to find out. Moving on, we have the explain the extracting data using regular expressions. Implement a Python program to find out the lines having @ sign between the characters in a read text file. Here you have to use the regular expression, and what they have told is in a regular expression you have to extract those which has the @ sign in between. So, we can use a star operator along with any word here /w, and then we can have @ operator here followed by w star. So, no matter how many words are in the starting and the ending, and in the ending and the ways of traversing a list, explain with an example for each. Okay. This also we have discussed. Using a for loop you can easily do. Next one is differentiate pop and remove methods on list. How do you delete more than one element from the list? Pop the middle also, which pop cannot perform. Okay. To delete more than one element, you can use a for loop or remove multiple values method. Also, you can call the pop multiple times if you want to remove the last value and the second last value, third last value inserted. Okay. The next one is write a Python program that accepts a sentence and builds a dictionary with the letters digits uppercase lowercase as the key values. So, these are the things you have to keep in mind, how to include the letters, which are the character classes to be used for digits uppercase and the lowercase, ignoring the re.I to ignore the cases and as the key values, and their count and the sentences as the values, means how many times those particular symbols have occurred, you have to keep the count, that should be stored in a dictionary and that should be returned. Okay. So, basically you have to use a regular expression to form the regular expression for this one, and use a dictionary to store the count of each valid expression. The next one is explain while and for loops. It is pretty simple, and explain write a Python program to find out the largest value from the given set of accepted values, that is also easy, and discuss the string handling methods in Python with an example, that is also simple. Write a Python program to check whether the string is palindrome or not palindrome. Here you can have the 2 pointers which are from the starting and the ending, or you can also use the reverse function and check if the 2 strings are same or not. Okay. Explain with an example syntax of read write methods that I discussed. Write a Python program to create a copy of existing file. You can use .copy method from the shell utilities function, and write a Python program to concatenate and compare 2 strings, that is also easy. Explain file open, file close, file read, file write in Python, that is also discussed, and write a program to convert a decimal to binary. Okay. To convert from decimal to binary, you have to keep on dividing by 2 and saving the remainder. Okay. And list any 6 string methods, that also you can find on Google, and write a Python program to generate Fibonacci series. So, basically Fibonacci series is 1, it will starting from 0 1, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 5 and so on. Okay. So, you can use 2 variables to store these 2 values, and then add the values and store in a third variable, add 2 previous values, store in the next variable and so on. Okay. You can use that by using a loop and an array. Mention the advantages and disadvantages of continuous statement. Write a program to compute only even number to sum within the given natural number using continue statement. Here you can use continue to continue whenever it is an odd number, or else add when it is an even number. Okay. Define string, how it can be traversed using a loop array, and write a Python program to display the presence of a given substring in a main string. Here you can use substr method to find out a particular string, and by using loop you can have I as a counter, traverse each time a letter in the loop and print it. Okay. How computational fault or errors are handled in Python, that is by exception and try and error method, also by using the logging functions and the assertions. Show it with an example Python program to copy all the lines beginning with vowels from the text file to the vowel.txt and returning all other lines. So, using a regular expression you can filter the vowels from the non vowels. Whenever you get that means a string of vowels, copy it by using .copy to the main file. Okay. Next one is define tuple. Explain DSU pattern and write a Python code to define tuples by sorting a list of vowels from longest to shortest using loops. So, here also you have to use the regular expression to filter the vowels, and by using the count of how many times it have occurred, and you have to store in the tuple like the shortest to the longest. Okay. Python language. So, it will make our task more easier, like by writing a single line of code it will all the matching patterns instead of manually doing that, right. And next one is about how the tuples are created in Python, the different what are the different ways. So, this is about the syntax, you have to search in the notes, and write a Python program to return how many in a file. Assume that email continuously have a non-byte spaces. So, you have to use a regular expression which will match the emails, and whenever it matches increment a counter, then return the count value, right. And the last one is implement a program to using list to store and display the array of n integers accepted from the user. Okay. So, this is also very easy, you have to just accept the user's number, check if it is a number and store in the list. Okay. So, this is all about the Python module 3, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.